Hi, hello, and welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Jordan and this is my shelf problem. Today's video is going to be August TBR. I wanted to go over the TBR game I'm going to be playing for the month of August and probably going forward at least for a little bit. I made my own like Bookopoly board. I've gotten this idea. It's all over YouTube. You'll see it, but I think Becca from Becca in the Books, I believe is her username. I'm going to tag her in the description, but I believe she was the original creator of this, if I'm not mistaken. So she's like the original idea, but there's so many people here on BookTube that use it to pick their TBR. So I went ahead and made my own. I just got a piece of foam board and printed out the stuff on sticker paper on Canva and stuck it to the board. So we're gonna go ahead and go through this so I can walk you through kind of what each space is, kind of what my rules are, and then we will jump into picking our TBR. So first things first, we start here. There is no prompt for landing on start, but if we do land on start, we do add an extra roll because if you land on start, obviously there's nothing prompting you on what book to pick. So we add an extra roll if we do land on start. We're just going to go through each one and go from there. So the very first one says Seasonal Road. So this, you're just going to pick a book that matches the season that we're currently in. Community Shelf, I have some cards here. You can grab them. So I made chance cards and then also cards that say Community Shelf. So these all pertain to any books that I bought in either in 2024 or 2025. So we're just going to pick a random one and I'm going to show you. So this one says 2025 backlist starts with M. So either the author's name can start with M or the title can start with M. It doesn't matter. It just, one of the things has to start with M. So that is kind of what all of these are. And like here, we'll pick a second one. 2025 backlist, mainly pink cover. Things like that, but they all pertain to either 2024 or 2025 books that I bought. So that is for the Community Shelf. And then we have Color Boulevard. Color Boulevard is we will either do a color wheel spinner or we will just go to like a random color generator, and whatever color it lands on, that color needs to be on the cover of the book. Now, the cover of the book does not have to be fully that color. It needs to be prominent. And then we have our backlist jar. I have a jar where I wrote down every single book on my physical TBR that is unread, and I put it in a jar. And they are color coded, and you'll see the jar if we land on this when we play the game. But if we land on backlist jar, we will roll the dice again. We just roll one dice then. If we get a 1 or a 2, we have to pick a book that we bought in 2024. If we pick a 3 or a 4, we have to pick a book that we bought in 2025. And if we roll a 5 or a 6, we have to pick a book that we bought this year. Then we have Romance Railroad. So that's just going to be picking a romance book. And then we have Ratings Way. So Ratings Way, it will be the lowest rated on Goodreads. And then we have our Chance Spot right here. And that goes with our chance cards. So I made all of these myself. I'll just pick a random one here. A colorful cover. A 2024 backlist book. Immersive read. A 2-word title. So they're just random prompts. And that's what the chance cards are. All right, and then we have Pages Avenue, so a book under 350 pages, and then we have New Release Place, and it has to be a book that was released this year. And then we have our prompt jar. So I have a jar that I wrote a bunch of prompts on some papers, and we would pick a prompt out of that. Next, we have Enemies to Lovers Lane, so we will pick a book that is Enemies to Lovers, a new to me author, Big Book Palace, a book over 500 pages, Fated Mates Circle, so a Fated Mates romance, a Romantasy Railroad, so we'll pick a romantasy book, Pet Shop Lane, it has to have an animal on the cover, and then another Community Shelf space, sorry, this is hard to do, series shelf, so I just need to pick a series that I'm in the middle of and can continue it, or I can pick from my series jar. Avoidance Alley, a book I've been avoiding, and then a free pick. And back to this side, we have Wildflower Field, so a book with either flowers or any sort of nature on the cover. Another Chance Space, Shifter's Land, so a shifter's romance. Mafia House, so a mafia romance. Mood Read Railroad, pick a book that we want to mood read. Hyped Up Lane, a book that is hyped up on social media. Newest to my shelf, Tear-Soaked Road, a book that I think will make me cry. Favorites Boulevard, a previously loved author, and then Series Jar. And last side, we have Darkness Alley, so either a dark romance or a dark romantasy. Another community shelf space, Games and Trials Avenue, so a romantasy with Games and Trials. Demons, Vampires, Oh My, that one is kind of self-explanatory. Backlist Railroad, have to pick a backlist book, and that can either be a backlist book from my shelves or it can be on the author's backlist, either one. Another Chance Space, and then we have Stalker Vibes, a stalker romance. We have another backlist jar, and then ABO, Read an Omegaverse. So that is my Bookopoly board. So we are going to go ahead and jump right into the rolls and pick our August TBR. All right, so we are probably going to start with 6 rolls. We will see how we feel after 6 rolls, and then maybe do a couple more, kind of depending on how I'm feeling about the books that we have chosen for our TBR. So let's go ahead and start with roll 1. And that is an 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is going to be a book under 350 pages. For our first roll, we landed on a book under 350 pages. So we are going to go with Coach Sully by Sloane St. James. This is age gap, accidental pregnancy, and I believe she's related somehow to the hockey team as well. So this is the book we are going to pick for under 350 pages. Roll 2. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is Pet Shop Lane, and that is going to be a book with an animal on the cover. For roll 2, we got animal on the cover, and for that we are going to be going with Kiss of the Basilisk by Lindsay Straub. I have been meaning to pick this up for the absolute longest time, and I just haven't gotten around to it. I have the audiobook, so I think we are going to try to go ahead and read this in the month of August. Roll 3. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is Wildflower Field, so that is a book with flowers or nature on the cover. For roll 3, we got flower/nature on the cover. And since this is my TBR game and I can make the rules, I am going to allow myself 1 double up a month. And not only that, I realized when I watched the footage back that I actually ended up rolling 8 times instead of 7. So I am going to allow myself 1 double up a month with prompts if I'm able to do it. So for this one, again, for flowers on the cover, we are going to go with Kiss of the Basilisk by Lindsay Straub because it does have flowers and then it has the snake for the animal on the cover. So that is what we are picking again for flowers on the cover. Roll 4. 3. 1, 2, 3. That is Mafia House, so that is going to be a mafia romance. For roll 4, we ended on Mafia Romance, and for that we are going to pick up King by S.J. Tilley. This is book 2 in her Alliance series. I read the first book, Nero, forever ago, and I think it's about time I go ahead and pick up book 2. So we are going to be sticking King by S.J. Tilley on the TBR. Roll 5. That is 2. 1, 2. Hyped Up Lane, so a book that is hyped up on TikTok. For roll 5, we landed on Hyped on Social Media. So for that, we are going to pick a book that has been making its rounds. It's made its rounds previously, but now that it's being traditionally published, it's making its rounds again, and that is going to be Bonded by Thorns by Elizabeth Helen. I have the indie copies of the first 4 books. And I don't know if I want to give these up and still buy the traditionally published ones, or if I just want, because I want a matching set. So I don't know what I'm going to do with these yet. But for Hyped on Social Media, we are going with Bonded by Thorns by Elizabeth Helen. Roll 6 is 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Backlist jar. So let's go ahead and roll our dice to see. And that is a 4. So that means it needs to be a book from 2025. Let me grab my backlist jar and show you guys how I have this set up. So this is my backlist jar. Any of the yellow-orange colors are going to be books that were bought in 2024. Any of the purple-pink colors were books that were bought in 2025, and then any of the blue or teal colors were bought in 2026. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and pick 3 out, and we'll pick one out of those 3. We're going to choose that one, and let's choose a pink one, that one. All right, so let's see what we've got here. Feral Wolf, I believe that is by the Twisted Sisters, so that one's probably going to be out of the question. Vivid Avowed, this might actually be a good option because this will finish off a series. And Beautiful Exile, which I could, but I think we're going to go with Vivid Avowed because that is that will finish off the Evelyn Maynard trilogy by Cadence Snow. For roll 6, we landed on Backlist Jar, and I got, I think, really lucky with this one. We picked I ended up picking Vivid Avowed, and this is by Cadence Snow. This is book 3 in her Evelyn Maynard trilogy, and it will finish out a series for me, which is another one of my goals for this year. So we are going to be reading Vivid Avowed by Cadence Snow in the month of August. Roll 6. And that is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is a chance card. We are going to shuffle these up a little bit. Oopsies. Okay. We shuffled them up. Let's pick the one on the top. Orange or yellow cover. For roll 7, we landed on chance, and we got orange or yellow cover. The book I picked for this is probably stretching it a little bit, but I honestly don't really have any books that are like majority or even just really predominant yellow and orange covers. So this has both. I would classify it. So this is the book we're going to go ahead and pick for that, and that is The Right Move by Liz Tomforty. This is book 2 in her Windy City series. I read Mile High forever ago, probably back in 2024, and I never continued the series, and I have the whole series, so I think it's about time that I pick up book 2. All right, so I think we are going to go ahead and do 1 or 2 more rolls. Let's start with 1 and see what the next book is and go from there. So roll 7 is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Pet Shop Lane, that is Animal on the cover again. And last but not least, for roll 8, which was supposed to be roll 7, but I messed up somewhere, we landed on Animal on the cover again. So for that, we are going to be going with The Poisoner by Ivy Ophelia. There is a snake on the cover. So that is what we are going to be picking for book number 8 of our August TBR. And that is all the books that I'm putting on my August TBR/hopefuls list. And I really, really hope that I can at least read half of these. I don't make these lists as a you have to read these. It's a hopefuls list and a kind of a guide for me, because sometimes I get stuck in a rut and I just don't know what I want to read. So hopefully this will kind of give me some guidance on what to read for the month if I ever get stuck in that spot. I will admit that I have been in a big Kindle rut lately. I have been reading nothing but Kindle books because I have so many audiobooks. I believe I have over 1,300 audiobooks on Audible that I have purchased either with money or credits. So I need to get some of those books read. And I believe I have the audiobooks for at least half of these books sitting in my pile for my August TBR as well. So we'll more than likely be doing quite a bit of immersive reading in the month of August as well, which that is actually my preferred way. But there are some books that I think do better when you just read them rather than listening to the audiobook. And I have found some like that. But with that being said, it's just a guide. I don't hold myself that I have to read these books, because if I did that, I would just not enjoy reading anymore. And that is not the goal. Hope is I can at least read half of these. If I do, I will be so proud of myself, because I'm not putting out any punishments for not finishing my TBR. That is not the way I'm playing this game. I just want to enjoy my reading. So that is the plan. So hopefully we can get at least half of these read, and I want to hopefully maybe do some sort of reading vlog, reading like 2 or 3 of these books to kind of help me get them read. So that is kind of the plan for the month. We will see what happens. I do have like 4 or 5 days off in the middle of August, so maybe I can shoot for filming it then. I don't really know yet, but that is kind of the plan. So other than that, that is my August TBR / hopefuls list. I hope you guys enjoyed. What is on your August TBR, or what are you hoping to get to this month? Let me know in a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.